Think back to the last time you finished a course of antibiotics. You probably felt relieved, infection gone, job done, maybe you even took a probiotic alongside it, because that's what everyone says to do. Your pharmacist nodded, your doctor approved, you did everything right. Now, pay close attention to what happened in the weeks after. Was your digestion off? Did your legs feel heavier than usual? Did your thinking feel slower, not dramatically, just enough to notice? If you are over 60 and any of that sounds familiar, this video is specifically for you. Because what most seniors are never told is that the antibiotic course you took to protect yourself may have triggered something far more dangerous than the infection it was treating. And the probiotic you took to stay safe, in many cases, for adults in your age group, it didn't do what you think it did. That is not a fringe opinion. That is what the data now shows, and I have spent the last 15 days going through the peer-reviewed literature on exactly this. So today, I'm going to walk you through what is actually happening inside your gut after 60, why the standard antibiotic plus probiotic approach is failing seniors specifically, and what a quarter cup of something sitting in your kitchen right now can do that a $40 probiotic bottle cannot. Here is what the system is not telling you. In 2014 alone, American adults over the age of 65 received 51.6 million outpatient antibiotic prescriptions. That is not a typo. 51.6 million. That works out to more than 1,100 prescriptions for every 1,000 seniors, meaning the average older adult was receiving more than one antibiotic course per year, just in outpatient settings. Now, here is where it becomes a problem specifically for you. The Journal of the American Geriatrics Society confirmed that adults over 65 were 1.5 times more likely to receive antibiotics than younger adults, not because they had more bacterial infections, but because the 15-minute checklist medicine operates on a principle of better safe than sorry. And in this age group, that principle is producing a cascade of harm that most seniors only discover when it is already underway. The autopilot medical system is not protecting you, it is processing you. And the probiotic industry has been more than happy to fill the gap, offering a $30 to $50 bottle of generic bacteria as the solution to a problem that requires something far more precise. Now, before I get into the biology, I am going to go some deep on this, because without understanding the mechanism, the protocol at the end of this video will just sound like another health tip you forget by tomorrow. I want to flag something. There are 5 specific steps in the protocol I am going to give you today, and step number 3 is something I have not seen discussed anywhere in mainstream health content for seniors. It involves a question, one single question, that you can bring to your next doctor's visit, and according to data from the Journal of the American Geriatrics Society, it relates directly to the fact that 80% of deaths from one of the most preventable gut infections in the country occur in people over the age of 65. I will get to that, stay with me. But first, drop your age and the city you are watching from in the comments right now. We read every single one. You are part of a community of adults who refuse to let the system put their health on autopilot. Let me show you exactly what is happening inside your gut, because this is the part your doctor does not have 15 minutes to explain. Think of the lining of your intestine as a suit of internal body armor, not a wall armor, because it is designed to be slightly permeable, allowing nutrients through while keeping everything else out. That armor is maintained by a very specific group of bacteria living in your colon. Call them the butyrate brigade, because their primary job is to produce a short-chain fatty acid called butyrate, which is essentially the fuel your gut lining runs on. When the butyrate brigade is thriving, your gut wall stays tight. The joints between cells, proteins called tight junction proteins, think of them as the mortar between bricks, stay sealed. Nothing leaks through that. Now, here is what a broad-spectrum antibiotic does. It does not distinguish between the bacteria causing your infection and the butyrate brigade. It wipes out both. The specific species most devastated, Faecalibacterium rosebaria ruminococacea, are precisely the ones responsible for keeping that mortar intact. When they disappear, butyrate production collapses. The mortar between your gut bricks starts to crumble, and the lining becomes what researchers now call a leaky gut. Not a metaphor, but a measurable increase in intestinal permeability. What leaks through? Lipopolysaccharide, a toxic fragment from the outer wall of harmful bacteria. Think of it as chemical exhaust from a factory running in your basement. Once it enters your bloodstream, it triggers something called TLR4 and FKB signaling, your body's internal alarm system, and floods your system with inflammatory molecules, IL-6, TNF-alpha, IL-1-beta. This is the inflammaging engine, a low-grade, chronic, systemic fire that does not produce a fever you can measure. It produces frailty you can feel. Nature Reviews Gastroenterology and Hepatology published a comprehensive mechanistic review in 2024, confirming exactly this cascade, and documenting two specific axes that connect what happens in your gut to what you feel in your body. The first is the gut-muscle axis. The same inflammatory molecules that damage your gut lining disrupt AMPK and SIRT1 signaling in your muscle cells, the biological switches that govern muscle maintenance and repair. The result is accelerated loss of muscle mass and strength, not because you stopped exercising, but because your gut is on fire. The second is the gut-brain axis. LPS translocation activates microglia, the immune cells of the brain, and disrupts the blood-brain barrier, essentially the security system for your central nervous system. This contributes directly to brain fog, memory blanks, and in acute cases, delirium, which is a recognized consequence of antibiotic use in seniors over 70 that is vastly underreported throughout the ecosystem. Now, let's discuss that probiotic you took. Here is the part that surprises most people. A retrospective cohort study of 6,148 older patients over 65 who received antibiotics found no statistically significant difference in dangerous gut infection rates between those who took probiotics alongside their antibiotics and those who did not. Zero significant difference. Why? Because a generic OTC probiotic, the kind on the shelf at your pharmacy, does not restore the butyrate brigade. It introduces a handful of transient lactobacillus strains that do not colonize, do not produce meaningful butyrate, and in some cases actually delay the recovery of your native microbiota by competing for space. You are paying $40 for a placeholder that is not holding anything. That is not your fault. Nobody told you, the label does not say it, the pharmacist is busy, and the supplement industry has no financial incentive to publish a study showing their product does not work. The New Age Trial, a one-year intervention published in Gut, the BMJ's flagship gastroenterology journal, tracking over 600 older adults across 5 European countries, found that dietary changes targeting the microbiome reduced frailty markers, improved gait speed, and lowered CRP and IL-17, two of the key inflammatory molecules in the inflammaging engine I just described. Not supplements, dietary fiber, specific, targeted, and cheap. The Journal of the American Geriatrics Society data adds a number that should stop you cold. 80%. That is the share of deaths from Clostridioides difficile, the most dangerous antibiotic-associated gut infection, that occur in patients over the age of 65, and after a first C. difficile infection, 25% of patients experience recurrence. After 3 infections, the probability of another one exceeds 50%. Adults over 65 are 1.5 times more likely to be prescribed antibiotics than younger adults, per the same journal, and ciprofloxacin, one of the most gut-damaging antibiotics available, was the single most commonly prescribed antibiotic in patients over 75, despite carrying a boxed FDA warning. This is not a fringe risk. This is the mainstream treatment pathway for your age group. Let's see a case study I found during my research, which I found genuinely interesting. Dorothy is 74 years old, retired librarian, organized, thorough, the kind of person who reads the insert that comes with every medication. 2 winters ago, she developed what her doctor called a chest infection, most likely viral, but without a clear test result at the time of the visit. She was prescribed a broad-spectrum antibiotic. She went home, bought a probiotic at the pharmacy as instructed, and completed the full course exactly as directed. 3 weeks later, Dorothy was in the emergency room. Not because the original infection returned, because she had developed a Clostridioides difficile infection, the dangerous gut bacteria that blooms when the butyrate brigade has been wiped out and colonization resistance collapses. She lost 12 pounds in 6 weeks. Her legs became unreliable, and the worst part is, she needed a walker for the first time in her life. Dorothy laughed politely, the way librarians do, when her daughter, a registered nurse, suggested that the recovery protocol was not another antibiotic, and not another probiotic. It was oats, lentils, a specific sequence and a specific timing. She was skeptical. She said it sounded too simple for what she had been through. 8 weeks later, Dorothy's gastroenterologist reviewed her follow-up labs and said, "Remarkable." Her inflammatory markers had dropped. Her gait had steadied. She was back in her garden, kneeling without groaning. Within 4 months of starting the protocol that is not widely available, what I am about to show you. Her daughter's words. The biology is complicated. The solution does not have to be. This is called the Gut Armor Protocol. 5 steps, all kitchen-based. Total cost, under $4 a month. Step 1, the butyrate breakfast. Every morning, cook 1/4 cup of rolled oats. That is approximately 20 to 25 grams dry, with water or plain milk. No flavored packets, no instant oats with added sugar, plain rolled oats. The beta-glucan fiber in oats is one of the most studied fermentable fibers available. It directly feeds the surviving members of your butyrate brigade, Faecalibacterium and Rosebaria specifically, and has been shown in the New Age trial data to increase SCFA output within 2 to 3 weeks of consistent daily use. Cost, approximately $2 per month at any U.S. grocery store. Step 2, the bean reset. Once daily, add 1/4 cup of cooked lentils, black beans, or chickpeas to any meal. Lunch, dinner, alongside your oats if you prefer. Legumes provide resistant starch, a fiber type that bypasses digestion in your small intestine and arrives in your colon intact, where it becomes direct fuel for the butyrate brigade. Think of it as delivering wood directly to the furnace, rather than hopping some reaches it. Combined monthly cost for oats plus beans, under $4. Step 3, the 3-question antibiotic audit. This is the step nobody talks about, and it is the most important one. The next time a doctor prescribes you an antibiotic, before you fill that prescription, ask these 3 questions. 1, is there a confirmed bacterial cause for this, or are we treating just in case? 2, is this antibiotic specifically calibrated for adults over 65, given the CDI risk? 3, what is the watchful waiting alternative if I choose to delay by 48 hours? You are not challenging your doctor. You are exercising your right to informed consent. The data from JAMA and the Journal of the American Geriatrics Society confirms that at least 30% of antibiotic prescriptions in your age group are unnecessary. These 3 questions may be the difference between a course that helps you and a cascade that hospitalizes you. Step 4, the fiber-first timing window. If you are already on an antibiotic course, do not take your fiber and your antibiotic at the same time. Separate them by at least 2 hours. Take the antibiotic. Wait 2 hours, then eat your oats or beans. This is not about blocking the antibiotic. It is about protecting the surviving members of your gut community from taking a direct hit at the moment the antibiotic concentration in your gut is highest. Step 5, the synergy lock. Add 1/4 teaspoon of ground flaxseed to your morning oats. Flaxseed provides lignans, an additional soluble fiber that pair with beta-glucan to further increase SCFA production, specifically propionate, which works alongside butyrate to maintain tight junction integrity. Think of butyrate as rebuilding the bricks, and propionate as resealing the mortar between them. You need both. Most importantly, who should avoid or modify this protocol? If you have advanced chronic kidney disease, speak with your nephrologist before increasing fermentable fiber. High fiber shifts can affect potassium levels in very advanced CKD. If you have had recent abdominal surgery in the last 6 months, consult your surgeon before starting. If you are on warfarin, be aware that some antibiotics significantly alter INR. This protocol does not affect that directly. But any antibiotic conversation should include your anticoagulation team. If you are currently receiving chemotherapy or immunosuppressive therapy, do not add probiotic supplements of any kind without specialist guidance. Live bacteria in an immunocompromised gut carry a real risk of bacteremia. Here is what I want you to do tonight. Go to your kitchen right now, or in the next 10 minutes, and check whether you have rolled oats. If you do, put them on the counter where you will see them tomorrow morning. If you do not, add them to your next grocery run, 1 bag under $2. Tomorrow morning, make the butyrate breakfast, 1/4 cup. That is all. You do not need a new routine, you need one addition to the one you already have. And write down the 3 questions from step 3. Put them in your wallet or in your phone, because the next time a prescription is offered, you will be ready, not to refuse, but to ask. That is not defiance, that is sovereignty. Now, before you go, I want to make sure you know when this video is not enough. If you experience any of the following after an antibiotic course, do not wait, and do not adjust your fiber intake. Go directly to in-person medical care. 3 or more loose stools in 24 hours, accompanied by fever, rapid heart rate, or severe abdominal pain. This may be a C. difficile infection requiring immediate treatment. Sudden confusion or acute delirium after starting any antibiotic. This can indicate antibiotic neurotoxicity or sepsis-associated encephalopathy. Blood in your stool, bright red, black and tarry, or coffee ground appearance, especially if you are on any blood thinner. Palpitations, chest pain, or fainting shortly after starting a macrolide or fluoroquinolone antibiotic. These drugs carry cardiac risks in older adults that require urgent evaluation. Severe abdominal rigidity, rebound tenderness, or rapidly worsening distension. These can signal toxic megacolon, a life-threatening emergency. If signs of sepsis, confusion, blood pressure drop, rapid breathing, or a new oxygen requirement, call 911 immediately. Everything I have shared today is drawn from peer-reviewed research published in JAMA, the Journal of the American Geriatrics Society, BMJ Gut, and Nature Reviews Gastroenterology and Hepatology. All source links are in the description. This is educational information. It is not personal medical advice, and your specific situation deserves a real conversation with your physician. If this video meant something to you today, share it with someone you know who has recently been prescribed antibiotics, or who is taking a probiotic every day believing it is doing what the label says. This is for them, because what they do not know is costing them more than they realize. That is not breakfast, that is armor, that is not a question, that is sovereignty. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next one.